Hey, welcome everybody to this week's episode of Cafecito. We hope you are having a blessed and amazing day. This is a wonderful July 3rd before the holidays where everybody's going to take the day off tomorrow, maybe have some barbecue or chill or work. I don't know if you're an entrepreneur. I know you'll probably be working or getting some of that done. But I love today's conversation. We have Yvonne Hernandez. This is going to be, these are the types of conversations I love because we're talking about primordial sound meditation and Reiki. And this is all things that I think we all should entertain, looking at these practices as how they can benefit our lives. And there's so much more. There's really understanding the whole nuances of how all of that works and integrates into our very beingness, right? So welcome, Yvonne.
Hi,
Wonderful
everyone.
to
Thank you
have
so much,
you.
Sandra. Thank you. Thank you.
So wonderful to have you. So glad. This was a wonderful connection inside our Mighty Hub. So if you guys are not connected with us in there yet, por favor, get in there. unitedlatinas.mn.co. We have our community in there. There's resources in there. And you'll have and find all of our events in there. So let's get to this wonderful conversation. Yvonne, first, please do an intro. Tell us who you are and a little bit of how you got into this field.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yvonne Hernandez. I'm a Chopra certified meditation teacher, a Reiki master. I'm a mama of 3 amazing future world changers. I'm also a bilingual podcaster and a wife and a Girl Scout troop leader as well, empowering these future females. And so I got started with I guess there's a few different,
I'm sure. Yeah.
pieces to my story, right? But teaching meditation to kiddos has started in 2017, and then I started in the Chopra Meditation Center, learning about primordial sound meditation, and I enrolled in the meditation teaching certification program. And this was during the pandemic in 2020, and then I also enrolled in the Reiki classes. I was so intrigued with energy work and just really connected with my teacher. As they say, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And so my meditation teacher showed up and my Reiki teacher showed up. And so I became a student for both. And it was just divine timing, right? These beautiful tools have helped me tremendously with my own personal healing, as well as helping others with their healing journeys as well.
I love that. I love that. So break down, what is primordial sound meditation?
So primordial sound meditation, what it is, it's this. You receive your personal mantra, which is the sound the earth made when you were born. So it's calculated with your birth, your time of birth, and location of birth. And then it's calculated with Vedic philosophy. And so this beautiful combination gives you your personal mantra. With that, it will help you to go into silence. A lot of people say they cannot meditate in silence, but when you have a tool, a vehicle that's going to help you to go into silence, it takes you to this whole other conscious awareness space that usually people don't experience in regular guided meditations or walking meditation or, other types of meditations. But this is a different space of meditation. And this will help you go into that inner peace that's inside of us. We all have that connection, and primordial sound meditation helps us remember that we have that inner peace inside of us. And just with any meditation, it'll help you reduce anxiety, reduce depression. It will help your immune system. It'll help you focus, gain clarity. I mean, even intuition strengthens. There's just so many benefits that help with meditation in general. And your body immediately, the changes start happening in your brain, in your cells, your nervous system. Your nervous system starts regulating, which is, excuse me, which is what a lot of us need. We've experienced a lot of stress, especially through COVID, that we have locked inside of our bodies, and we're not really fully releasing, and experience just other stuff, through family, personal lives that we've experienced, and we hold on to a lot of stuff. And so primordial sound meditation helps us to relax, to go into that deeper um, calmness, peace, that is going to help us with our overall well-being, which is what we all need, right? We go through so much. And so any tools that can help us, oh my goodness, so helpful. And so for me personally, I have vitiligo, which is an autoimmune deficiency disorder. And so basically what it is your skin color, you start losing your melanin. And so for me, 21 years ago, I started laser hair removal and in my underarms, because at the time I was single and I didn't want to shave. And so I did laser hair removal. But also at that same time, I got married, moved from Texas to California, started a whole new family, a new friends, a new environment. Like everything was new for me. But when I started the laser hair removal, it was like the last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. And my body just exploded. And so that was a sign that my body was yelling at me, you need to stop, you need to slow down. This is too much for you. You need to take a step back. And at the time I was very into the hustle mentality. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And like, what? I don't need to rest. Like, I'm okay. And my body was like, you need to stop. You need to rest. So the vitiligo activated in my underarms. Eventually it started messing with me. I went through this negative spiral of super negative, toxic thoughts that enhanced or activated even more the vitiligo in my body, where my elbows were white, the back of my neck, I had spots on my legs, my knees, all over. And I just felt ugly, ashamed, embarrassed. It was just terrible. I heard about meditation. I started, listening on YouTube. And my prayers went from, why me, God, why me, to a shift happening. Okay, God, this has to be a blessing in disguise. Show me. What do I need to know about this? And things started shifting for me. The things that started appearing, I felt like I can no longer watch the news. So I haven't watched the news in probably over 15 years. I stopped watching the news. Scary movies, like removing myself from toxic relationships, friendships, negative people, just any negative things, negative feed, just anything that was negative. I just felt that calling, like I need to distance myself from those things. And also finding support in community. That was very helpful for me. Learning to move toxic beauty care, switch it to clean beauty care, but real clean beauty, not just vegan. No, like real clean beauty.
Yeah. Not just because it says vegan doesn't mean that everything in there is 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a whole other topic. But so making all these little changes, learning later on the road, were the things that were affecting my body. It was different types of stress that were on my body. And so as I started removing these things, my vitiligo slowed down. Once I started the primordial sound meditation, I noticed my spots were reversing. So my elbows, let me see, my elbows used to be white, if you can see. They're now back to my beautiful brown color. The back of my neck was all white. I couldn't wear, my chonguito on top. Like I couldn't, even if it was crazy hot, I couldn't. I felt so embarrassed. And now the back of my neck is back to brown. My neck, my knees, my legs, just so many different spots. So I still have a few spots on my body that, that I'm aware of. And if any new spot comes up, then I know there's something that I'm not paying attention. There's something else that's triggering me or is throwing me off. So, I have more awareness now, what my body is telling me. So it's been a beautiful journey. When I started the Primordial Sound Meditation certification program, actually right before. So at one point, my 3 kiddos were under 5 years old. So of course, that was very little sleep,
That was a lot of stress.
That was a lot of stress. And I remember hearing the quote by the Dalai Lama where he says, if every year old in the world is taught meditation, we will eliminate violence within 1 generation. And that just blew my mind, because I thought, wow, that's my kids' generation right here. Yeah. If my kids' generation learns to meditate, we're going to help to bring peace to the world. There's
Yeah,
so much,
absolutely.
there's just so much toxicity right now in the world, and it needs to change. And so
Yeah.
the kids are the ones that are going to help change that. And so I just knew that there was something there. And so I started volunteering at my kids' school without any knowledge or practice. I'm just like, can I just volunteer? I want to help the kiddos out at my son's, classroom. When I
Yeah.
finished the certification program, I received the message, I'm going to teach meditation to 1 million children. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And
That's
so
awesome.
I felt like meditation has helped me connect even more with my intuition, with my purpose, helping me heal internally. So many
Yeah.
things, just seeing the effects, not just on me, but on my family. It's like a ripple effect on my family and beyond,
Absolutely.
whoever is around me. It's just so beautiful. And
It's
practicing.
amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Let's talk, just pause for a second. Like, it's amazing that the amount of not knowingness that we about our bodies that we know, right? And lack thereof that we don't know. But the idea that we are energy, right? We grew up, our generation, my generation anyway, I know, but we grew up with really not knowing this. There was an inner knowing. I think there always is that inner knowing, but it's what culture has taught us. It's what environment has taught us, right? And you mentioned some things about how your environment, the stress, the move, the children, the new life, all these changes happening, and we try to rush through life without taking the time, number one, to pause and really check in with ourselves and really understand everything that's going on, and not try to run a race, but run our own race, right? It's not trying to keep up with what's going on, but it's trying to develop and create the life that we want to live. And I think that that's the beautiful part about really understanding the power of the energy that we possess. I always say this thing that it's we are made in the image of. It doesn't matter what you believe in. We believe that we're made in the image of. In the image of what? An omnipresent being is within us, because you can't have one without the other, right? You can't say that there is a source energy and then it doesn't live within you, right? So we have this truly powerful energy source within us that if we can learn to harness it, and as generations go by and as more people not only learn how to meditate, but understand the complexities of what we really are, we'll learn how to harness the true power and potential that we have inside of us, right? Because we were brought up, exactly, Monica, we are energy, we were brought up with this thinking. But if we can instill in our children, you can do anything, everything's possible, like literally anything can be possible, because consciousness is what creates the physical matter that we see before us, and all of that is managed through this wonderful system that we're happy to bring up with energy, and the power of how that really can transform the world, right, for the better, of all mankind. And that's so beautiful. I do want to ask you, how do we find the sound, the sound to our date of birth, location? How is that?
So
Where does
yeah,
someone find it? Mm-hmm.
yes, that is definitely something that I would provide for whoever is interested in going into a deeper meditation state. I can definitely help you and guide you and give you that, because I have to go into the Chopra Center, like through my back office end, enter your information. And if for some reason there's a piece missing, don't worry. Or if you don't know any of the information, if you don't know the time or location, there are some people who don't worry. There is a mantra that works, a general one, and it's still very supportive and it helps. So either way, I invite anyone who's interested in going into this deeper awareness state, conscious awareness state, to message me and connect, and I can help you with that.
Yeah. Is it a certain frequency, or is it just a series of different tones? What is it exactly?
So it's not a frequency. It's just a vibration. It doesn't mean anything.
Are you saying it, or are you listening to it?
You say it in your mind. So yeah, this would be
Okay, like
something
a
that you say in your
om,
mind,
but it's some
like a om. Yes, yeah, but you just say it in your mind and you repeat it. So anytime that you have, so we would start first saying, asking the four soul questions. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? And then there's a few other steps. And then you start saying your mantra. And you say it, you repeat it and you repeat it, especially if you have a distraction come in, a thought come in. And even if your mantra starts changing a little bit, it's okay. And so I will guide you through the whole process. And but this is what I do every morning. And even if I'm exhausted or, just, or I'm not feeling well, whatever it is, I still wake up early, set my timer. I'm going to do my meditation for this amount of time. And then I'll go back to sleep. Sometimes if I feel like my body still needs more rest, but the majority of the time I feel really good. I feel energized. I actually feel fully rested, which is really nice as a mom. And yeah, I mean, it's just beautiful, the changes that happen with just a little bit of practice with the meditation.
I love that. I love that. So what would you give, like what advice would you give somebody who's just starting to meditate? Is this the step one, do you think? Is this
So yeah,
Mhm.
so step one would be breathing. Actually, the majority of the people breathe on shallow breathing. And then you wonder, why am I always stressed out? Why do I always get frustrated? Why, the pain or whatever? It's because your body is trying to function with very little oxygen in your brain, in your cells, in your body, in your nervous system. And so just deep breathing makes a world of a difference. So that is the basis to any mindfulness practice, the breath.
Yeah.
um, when you have anxiety, breathe. When you're scared, breathe. When you feel sadness, breathe. When whatever, breathe. Um, that is the foundation to all of that. And so I help people with breathing exercises as well. I do have a 5-minute bilingual meditation podcast, and I help people through there. And then personally, one-on-one, and some other offerings that I have as well that I'd be happy to mention at the end.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so let's talk about Reiki. And I know yeah, it could be said a
Yeah.
couple. I don't know. Sometimes it's when I'm saying it's either Reiki or Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
But
So yes, it is Reiki. It's a Japanese energy healing modality, and it's just the universal life force energy. That's basically what it is. And like you mentioned before, we are energy. Everything around us is energy. And so um, as a Reiki master, I'm able to send and attune other people. And so what Reiki does, it helps to align your energy centers. We have 7 major energy centers. And so sometimes people wonder like, oh, how can that help me? Do you ever feel like your energy is stagnant? Or do you ever feel like you feel like you're dragging, or you feel off, or, something's not normal, right? It's your energy. Your energy is not aligned. Your excuse me, your energy centers are not moving. They're dragging, they're slowing down. And so myself as a Reiki master, what I would do, even if we're not in the same city or in the same place, I can still send Reiki to you in Florida and me in California. We would set a time. Okay, I'm going to start. You set your intention. What do you want Reiki to support you with? And Reiki will support you with that. And it'll still help you with whatever it notices that you need help energy wise, which is beautiful. A lot of people have commented like, wow, I feel more rested now. I can think better. Like, it helps with healing also. A lot of hospitals are using Reiki to help pre and post surgery, because surgery is a traumatic experience on the body. So what it does, it helps speed up the healing process so that the patients can heal. Professional athletes are using Reiki to heal faster because they need to get back, in the game and make money, right? Cancer patients are using Reiki with their chemotherapy because it's, a really big process that they go through. So many things. People use Reiki for trauma, for healing things in the past, to help heal their ancestors, their lineage, even Reiki in the future, their future children. I've even supported a client with their IVF, with child number 1 and child number 2, to help, clear out energy in her womb and her partner, her husband. And then with baby number 2, when she was going to do IVF, she's like, all right, let's clear out my energy space around my womb. And I just thought it was an honor and so beautiful that I could support a family that way. With a job, with any difficult situations that maybe you have coming up, or your child is having a challenging time, or your pet can receive Reiki. Reiki could be for anything and anyone, because we are all energy, which is just so beautiful. So anything that you can think of, it'll help.
That's awesome. I love it. I did take a course once on Reiki, but that was so long ago. But there was a practice, because you can do Reiki on yourself and then you can send Reiki out. So, and I don't remember, it's going backwards in some of those things, to receive it, to create it for ourselves. But again, we're energy. So, there's so many ways and so many tools that we can use these things and pieces of them and all of them to really create that peace of mind and that state of being that we want to have, because life is chaotic and we're all running around. And especially as Latinas and Latinos, those of you who are listening, and everybody else, all of us, we are all carrying around trauma, some baggage, some stuff, some conditioning, just things that we know aren't serving us. So it's using these tools, understanding our power and potential, and now building the life forward, right? Because I think, like, I remember growing up, like, thinking this is not it. Like, this is not, this white picket fence of vision is not for other people and not us as a community. It's like, why can't we build what we want to build, right? So I think all of these tools allow us to address, number one, our thinking and our consciousness of how we approach the world. And I'm so passionate about energy topics, because we are energy. And once we truly can grasp that, we can really create the world that we want to live, because we're already creating the world we don't want to live, right? Because people are holding on to stuff. You don't realize it. You're just putting it out there subconsciously or intentionally without realizing it. But so how can we apply this to, like, let's say, you're at the desk all day, you're at the office, whether all day, how can we apply, like, bits of this, or what would you say are good, like, practices? We'll wake up in the morning, we definitely do some meditation, at least a couple minutes, maybe some sound integration in that, right? And then what do you recommend, like, for the day? Like, what's some tips that we can use to
So the first thing, take a deep breath. As soon as you wake up, take a deep breath. Of course, gratitude, always start with gratitude. Your morning start with gratitude. It definitely changes your day. Meditation, of course, starting with a meditation practice is just a game changer for me, life changer. It's beautiful what it can do for you. And then throughout the day, check in with yourself. Have I taken a deep breath today? And then also, what does my body need at this moment? Because a lot of times we ignore our bodies. We're like, okay, later. Like, I'm so busy right now. Like, I need to take the phone call. I need to da. But we don't check in. What does my body need at this moment? And it makes a big difference when you actually listen and give yourself some love. And another tip that I recommend for people that don't really do is tell yourself, I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror. As the first thing you do in the morning, of course, you go to the bathroom and you wash your hands. What are you doing? Nothing. You're probably just looking at yourself like, oh my gosh, the wrinkle, the this, the that, the whatever. Like, everyone starts with the negative, my hair, whatever, right? But instead, just say, buenos dias, good morning, I love you. You are amazing. It's going to be an amazing day. And smile at yourself, when you say, I love you. And a lot of people have a hard time saying, I love you to themselves. I did. When I went through that practice, I cried. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have never told myself I love you. I mean, I love myself, but I've never actually told myself, like, verbally say it out loud. I mean, it's a big shift that happens when you do. So I recommend every time you wash your hands, deep breaths, and tell yourself, I love you. You're checking yourself out in the car mirror, putting on your lipstick, you're going to a meeting or whatever. Smile, tell yourself, I love you, and take a deep breath. I mean, game changer right there.
I love it. I love it. So now everybody listening to this, every time you see a mirror, you can't forget this. You have to tell yourself you love yourself. Because
I love you, te amo, te quiero. I mean,
you
in
are
whatever
awesome.
language.
You're amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Because we are. And if you're thinking that you're not, is because you need to free yourself from that baggage. And because you really, truly are. We really, truly are more powerful than we realize.
Yeah. And you attract more positive things, beautiful things when you talk to yourself in that way, and when you speak words of positivity instead of like always finding the negative. Well, of course, then you attract more negative. If you continue speaking negative and thinking negative, it's like, no. Get rid of that thought.
Yeah.
Shift.
Yeah.
Time to shift.
Yep. Catch yourself, catch those negative thoughts and stop them right away, because they will perpetuate negativity, right?
Yeah.
We are the creators. Yvonne, this has been such a great conversation. I loved it. This is going to be awesome. There's so many nuggets here. And I'm so happy that you joined me today.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to connecting with anyone who's open to receiving their personal mantra. If you don't understand what it is and it's still confused, don't worry. I will help you. You can find me everywhere as Decide Balance, Decide Balance, my website, my IG, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, Decide Balance, Decide Balance. Even my podcast is the same name, so you can find me there. And I have a beautiful offering for women of color, a Reiki meditation package that I'm offering to support women through Reiki and meditation, and distance Reiki sessions. And also, I'd be happy to connect with anyone who is open to helping me with teaching meditation to 1 million children. That is my mission right now. And I'm at over 2,000 kiddos that I've taught, so I'm on my way. So I would love to connect with anyone who would love to support me on this mission as well.
Awesome. That was beautiful, Yvonne. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Catch us next week. And again, don't forget to check out our Mighty Hub, unitedlatinas.mn.co, and we will see you in there. Take care, guys. Be well.
Gracias, Sandra.